IDF rescues soldier held hostage by Hamas.
Here's a summary of the article.
A soldier was rescued during an IDF operation in Gaza on Monday night, the IDF and Shin Bet said in a joint statement on Monday. Private was freed during an IDF ground operation after she was kidnapped by the Hamas terrorists on October 7. A subsequent medical examination administered to Megiddo has determined that she is relatively healthy. The statement noted that the IDF and Shin Bet will continue to make every effort to secure the freedom of the remaining hostages.
This post received a score of 6,000, with an upvote ratio of 85%. Here are the top comments in response to this article.
The best possible response to the psychological warfare video of the hostages Hamas released this afternoon.
She was rescued last night, so it's actually the opposite. Hamas's video is a response to this.
Hamas video was meant to put the Israeli population in distress and to pressure Netanyahu for prisoners swap. Fact that this update came after the video was published invalidates their entire goal. The joy in Israel over this news is great and nobody really is put off by the hostages video anymore.
Any video put out by hostages under possible duress need to be viewed with a very skeptical lens. There's no telling what pressure Hamas may have put onto those captives to get them to put out such a statement.
Greater than there's no telling what pressure Hamas may have put onto those captives to get them to put out such a statement. Actually, we can have a pretty decent idea of the pressure being used by Hamas using just a tiny smidgen of critical thinking skills. Every single hostage statement Hamas has allowed out has come from someone who still has loved ones being held captive by Hamas.
Greater than every single hostage statement Hamas has allowed out has come from someone who still has loved ones being held captive by Hamas. Almost every hostage Hamas has released, 4 so far I believe, has loved ones still being held. Hostage statements Hamas releases are all from people still held captive themselves.
Yeah, one of the hostages released said she went through hell, but later seemingly described some surprisingly humane treatment. However, her husband is still a hostage and so she undoubtedly is saying what she was instructed to say in order to keep him alive. A criminal justice professor and former FBI analyst noted on the obvious propaganda intent of Hamas in letting her go and making certain statements. I think there's also the implication that Hamas early on determined what kinds of people would make the most sympathetic hostages to be released, the elderly and children, and like.
My opinion is that the woman who claimed to have gone through hell, but was still treated well by them likely had bruising from when they, in her own words, beat her with sticks while she was being transported. They likely couldn't just make those bruises go away, so they had to allow her to admit that originally happened, and then, they were super kind and compassionate to her. Most likely all bullshit she was told to say if she ever wanted to see her loved ones again.
Is probably a massive morale boost for the IDF.
This video was automatically created by Reddit to speech. The article and comments in this video were selected from Reddit according to their upvotes, and any paraphrasing was performed by smmry.com, without any human intervention.